It looks like just the order I have on the chat. We're going to start out with Lyra or Lyra. How do you pronounce it?
Lyra.
Okay, Lyra. Okay.
All right, so
Are we recording this or are we not?
What was that?
Are we recording this or no?
I have it recording now.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right, so my character is Lyra Majora the Monstrous. She is a werewolf type character with a vulnerability to silver, unholy strength, and can shapeshift into a wolf. She, all right, and the history is like introduced now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she saved she saved Mina from another werewolf attack a couple years back. She's sort of forgotten about the incident, thinking that's just business, but that's how she knows Mina.
Mina.
Yeah, Mina. Right.
All right. So that werewolf attack, seeing as how you are a werewolf, did you know the werewolf that attacked Mina?
The werewolf was from an enemy pack. That's what they're called.
Okay. All right. And so that was how you kind of met Mina?
Yes.
Okay. And then how did you meet Atlas?
Let's see. I want to say that we're kind of close relations, being both related to cryptids. I've definitely seen Atlas out in the woods several times. We've hunted together. That's how Lyra views their relationship more as businessy in a way.
Okay. Now, just to be clear, the other characters, as we're doing this, you can ask questions as well. Like if there's something Lyra says and you have a follow-up question on it, you can ask that as well while we're doing all this.
Okie dokie.
One thing I want to say is I love how you absolutely got the vibe of Atlas, and yes, they would just roam around the woods like that.
I read
be...
Atlas's
Yeah.
I read Atlas's energy.
Yeah. He may be a human, but he's fully in the Mothman vibes. He is a cryptid.
Heck yeah.
She is doing her best.
Honestly, same.
All right, so how did you get to the point where are you protecting non-werewolves? Are you still with a pack? Or why are you in this particular business?
I was originally part of a pack. However, my encounter with Mina sort of made me realize how brutal it can be to be a werewolf, especially a werewolf in a pack where your main like goal is like just sort of hunting and surviving. So I've been trying to assimilate more into human society despite looking very wolf-like. So I'm more of a lone wolf at the moment.
All right. So now we'll go to Atlas. So tell us about yourself and then how you know these other two.
Okay. Atlas Mythira, the spooky, is a very confusing character to most, with her cryptic vibes and weird prophetic visions she keeps getting. She's got some pretty crazy powers, though she tries not to use them much. She wears a pretty goth outfit, has very piercing eyes. You could swear they're red sometimes. And she's got a few darker sides to her, but she tries to keep that under wraps. And I think how she knows Lyra is she's known her for some time, you know, seeing each other in the woods, working together, but since her powers have manifested more, she's tried to keep a distance emotionally from her, because what if she gets a bad vision about Lyra? That's gonna hurt. So she's trying to keep her walls up. Not very successfully, though.
Nice.
Any questions about that one?
Not at the moment.
All right.
Yeah.
How you know Mina?
Mm.
I think just to help you, I have a feeling Mina was like a little solo investigator, like just trying to solve like small mysteries and slowly it like unraveled into like figuring out the supernatural exists. So like I could have seen her like basically tromping around in the woods too with like a clipboard and magnifying glasses.
Yeah. Yeah, that fits for the history bit I was going to go with, which is they saw you use your powers for selfish or vindictive reasons, ask them who the victim was, and then tell them why you did it. I think you saw Atlas actively in the process of using their prophetic powers, and usually he doesn't try and force them, but in that moment I'm thinking he was like forcing them to try and like get a vision for something he was trying to do specifically against someone who would hurt her or someone she was working with. And you saw her during that, and it looks scary, especially with the whole Mothman vibes and the red glasses that start glowing from her eyes lighting up for using the powers.
All right, so you were using your prophetic powers. So what did the person do that hurt you? And I know this is kind of asking you to think on the spot, because I know you guys haven't probably went too deep into these characters, but for Atlas, what did that person do to you to make you want to use a prophetic power, and how would you have done that?
I'm thinking that they did something towards Atlas's family, because I have a feeling like Atlas's family is big in at least one part of the world, either being that the normal world or the magical one, or like the dark side, like the underbelly. But in one place at least, they were pretty big for themselves, and that person did something that damaged their reputation, which Atlas didn't appreciate. So they went out, and she kind of forced her prophetic vision, which usually they just come to her naturally, but forcing it really made her look a bit more terrifying than it should. Like whipping up the clothes in a frenzy from like a wind that isn't there, like fully glowing red eyes, that kind of deal. Looking feral and like a cryptid. She was able to force the vision and learn some things that she could use to blackmail said person into taking back their statement. But yeah, that's what happened.
All right, so you basically just did like a use the power to find out something about them.
Yeah.
That would be coming up, but you kind of knew like why it was coming up, and you said it to them. They didn't realize you would have known that, so then that made them back down on what they were doing against your family.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And that was what Mina saw you doing.
Mm-hmm.
So now I guess we'll get to Mina. Was the interaction with Lyra the first time you had been exposed to the supernatural, or was it possibly with Atlas?
I feel like with I kind of feel like it probably was more with Lyra, like if so, like I have a feeling Mina maybe was like walking around the woods, you know, trying to solve like an unrelated mystery, and then got jumped by a werewolf, only to be saved by another werewolf, which kind of both confirmed to her her suspicions that the supernatural are real, so, and then also kind of showed her that it can be both dangerous, but also like, you know, there can be good people among the supernatural, so that later on when she sees you know, the weird goth person she had seen out in the woods before going like full like witch mode, she was less like quick to jump to like, oh god, it's evil, but not more like, oh whoa, what's happening here. So like I can only imagine like after like, you know, like Atlas was done with like their big magic, you know, prophecy power thing, like Mina just like sheepishly like popping out of a bush and saying, hey, so what was that about?
I think that would have spooked Atlas so bad, like they just stare at each other for a minute and Atlas full on books it.
Like Mina's like, wait, no, come back, I'm just curious.
Yeah. You probably got a chance to talk to him more like in town, because he is, you know, a human person who has to go around town sometimes, so you probably caught him again then.
You should try it for a less sudden approach and more like an easy, like, hey, so, you know, I know about the supernatural and that it exists, and I'm not gonna, like, be judgy. I was just, like, wondering what you were doing. Please don't hex me. And just anyway, to give her description, she's an adult with a friendly face and nerdy clothes. Like, imagining, like, kind of like a turquoise blue sweater vest, like, over a long sleeve blouse with, like, kind of like loose fitting pants, like one of those pants that kind of looks like a skirt at first glance.
Yeah.
And then like I have a feeling when she's like on mission, she has this like big dorky backpack with like the handle of her baseball bat sticking out of it. She also has like I guess I'll go with pocket knife. Oh, and she owns a van.
Nice.
All right, and so for the other two, I didn't hear like anything as far as like transportation. So are we assuming that the Triple M investigators use the van primarily as means to get around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so
And they're all queer.
And we're all dick.
All right. Here's fan. Okay. All right. And how long have you guys been running the Triple M investigators?
I want to say like 2 or 3 years. Or like 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay. So 3 years. And were there any big mysteries that you guys have solved or things that you have found that are noteworthy?
Probably.
Probably. Hold on. Maybe like they figured out like a Bigfoot situation somewhere. Like mysterious footprints had been left around. And then they solved it. And it wasn't actually Bigfoot, but a guy in a costume trying to scare off people for land development reasons.
Atlas.
He would have gotten away with it too.
No, you agree for land development.
Yeah. Atlas, who probably has like connections because of their family, absolutely got that guy in jail.
Yeah, I have a feeling like Mina like practically begged Atlas to be on her team when I assume when she had asked Atlas again, Atlas kind of at least mentioned the foreseeing stuff, and then Mina was like, "Oh my god, you have to be part of my investigation team."
Yeah. I think Atlas doesn't get approached by normal people much because she has those vibes that are all cryptidy. So I think she was pretty flattered when Mina wanted her to join the team. And she was like, okay, might as well. And then through that connection with Atlas and Lyra, probably got Lyra to join the team.
Lyra was looking for any way to try and like assimilate into human society, and she was like, "Yeah, this is a cool thing," and then realized it was the person she said it saved, and she's like, "Huh. Well then."
I think like Mina, like like Atlas had said, "Oh, okay, I have this werewolf I could ask to join us." And Mina was like, "Oh, cool." And then later on, Atlas shows up with a werewolf, and Mina has this moment of just absolutely crush. Like something, she had a crush on the werewolf that saved her, and now the werewolf that saved her is back.
Heck yeah. Werewolf lesbian.
Yeah. A bunch of cryptid lesbians and their one normal friend who is also queer.
In our lesbian van.
All right. So
Yeah.
you can see how, like we're 30 minutes into it. We haven't started the adventure at all, and you already have this big storyline going on. So that's kind of the cool part about this game.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
All right. So is there anything else you guys want to share about like what's been going on with the business? Like you probably don't actually get a lot of interaction with real supernatural, but because of your backgrounds, I think you can probably bust a lot of things going on, like your fake Bigfoot guy.
Yeah, I have a feeling, like, for the most part, Mina presents the Triple M investigators as just, like, normal private investigators for, low stake, just weird mysteries, but it is also, she has, like, an interest in keeping, like, an ear to the ground for, like, actual, like, mysteries that sound like the paranormal might be involved.
Mm-mm. There's probably like a holiday quote unquote episode where they dealt like with something like the Yule Cat or something, the holiday themed monsters.
Oh. Yeah.
All right.
They fist fought the Easter Bunny.
Is fighting the Easter Bunny in the Target parking lot.
I can't tell which would be funnier, if it was an actual monster, if it was just a guy in a bunny costume who's a jerk.
What if it was like one of those situations like where like it's a haunted costume, like at first you think it's a guy, but then like later on like the head falls off and there's nothing under there.
Oh my
Still a
God.
jerk, though.
They other than solving a fake Bigfoot, we know they solved the case of the haunted Easter Bunny.
Yeah. And something to do with the Yule Cat.
Yes.
All right. So we will get into it. Kind of got a good feel of, how you all guys are related. And now we'll start the actual session, start the mystery. So tonight on Monster of the Week, you see a frightened teen in a closet. They've got their phone out with the flashlight app going. You can see on the phone that the battery is almost out. They're breathing heavy. All of a sudden, there's pounding at the door. They jump. The pounding goes on for a minute or so, and then it gets quiet. The teen's sitting there. The phone's about to die. They say, "Please stop. I just want to go home." Then an axe knocks a hole in the door. The teen looks up and screams. Off camera, you hear a voice. "Here's Johnny." All right, so we'll start out. So Mina, you get a phone call.
I just
And-
want you to imagine she's like been at a desk and it has like piles of books and like newspapers and like there's like one of those conspiracy cork boards in the background. Her like kind of like curly bobbed hair is frazzled. And actually, you know what? She had been passed out on her papers, and like when the phone starts ringing, she jerks up and like one's stuck to her face, and she grabs the phone and it's like, hello, Triple M Investigators, how may I help you?
The voice on the other line says, "Hi, this is Sandi Duncan. I'm the manager at the Blockbuster store, the last Blockbuster store in Bend, Oregon. And I've got a problem, and I think you might be able to help me with it. You come highly recommended."
Oh yeah, we can totally check it out.
Before we get started, what are your fees?
Oh, it depends on how many days, but let's say on average, well, for a preliminary investigation, if you live close by, I sometimes do it for free, just to help people out, and if it actually seems like it could lead to something, then we can get into like discussing like the full-on fees.
Right, so kind of like a free quote sort of thing.
Yes.
Okay. How soon could you be here? Because things are getting pretty bad.
I do believe we could come over tonight.
That would be perfect. Because if I don't get this solved, I'm going to have to shut it down. And like I said, this is the last Blockbuster.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun. Oh, wait, in the last Blockbuster? Oh my god, I haven't been to one since I was like a kid.
Yeah, it's I'm the only one left. So I need to make sure we get this solved so we can keep it running. The issue I've been having is it seems like the place is haunted. And we're having, first it was stuff that was happening overnight. I would get these random text alerts that the alarm was going off, and I would go over, and some of the boxes and stuff would be on the floor. Things would be kind of disheveled, like somebody had been inside. But none of the doors had been unlocked. And it started out like that, and now it's actually starting to happen during the day when we have customers, and clearly that can't keep happening. So I need to figure out, what's going on, who's doing this, and how we can stop it.
Yes. And I want you to imagine as the lady's been talking, Mina's been like typing at a keyboard. And that does sound like it could be a very likely haunting situation. Yes, me and my team will come check it out as soon as possible.
Okay. I will meet you here. We actually close at 9. So if you guys get here just a little bit earlier, and I'll kind of show you around the place. Unfortunately, I'll have to lock the door, when we close up, just make sure nobody breaks in that's not supposed to be there. But yeah, if you could just get there probably around 8:30 or so, I'll show you around the place and then let you do what you do.
Alrighty. And yes, don't worry, this isn't the first time we will do like a kind of, lock-in investigation.
All right. Thanks so much for your help. I'll see you soon.
Bye. And she hangs up the phone, kind of brushes her, hair to be a little bit better, and then stands up. And then can I imagine like in the adjacent to like the study she was in, she enters the other room and maybe the other two are doing something in there?
I imagine Lyra is sort of propped up on this couch and like pushed up against a wall and is just sort of throwing a ball at the ceiling, catching it, throwing it, catching it. And she looks over at Mina as she comes into the room and is like, "We got a gig?"
Yep. 8:30 tonight.
Sick. What's the gig?
Haunted Blockbuster. Apparently it's the last one. Like, oh my gosh, have you ever been to one? It's like, well, I mean, it's just like totally like nostalgic.
I once bit a guy behind a Blockbuster.
Whose house are we in right now, or are we in the van?
Probably Mina's house. Like, I feel like a study adjacent to like the living room, and then there's like probably like a foyer, and then like kitchen, then like a stairs going up to like kind of like a loft, I guess, with her bedroom, and like maybe in like an extra additional room of some kind.
Yeah. Does the loft have one of those balcony things where you can see over it into the living room?
Yeah.
Yeah, Atlas just leans over the railing and goes, "Whoa, for real? I thought those were extinct by now."
I thought so too, honestly. Like, yeah, I'm not. I guess it's just like last one. Now the novelty of it is enough to keep it going.
And Atlas just thinks for a second, and then smirks and says, "Bet you $20 it has something to do with a movie-based monster."
That gets Mina to snort. Oh, like if it is, I'll be like, and she kind of rolls her eyes. Like, I'm not going to be upset, but I will find it a little bit hard to to keep a straight face while dealing with that.
Yeah. Also, I think now is as good as any time to use the premonition ability.
Okay. And let me pull it up real quick. Just to. All right, so your premonition. All right, so you get to roll plus weird. So 2d6 plus your weird rating of 2.
Exactly 10.
All right, so that when you got 2 5s? No, you got 10 total is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start having a vision. Now, when you get your visions, is it always that kind of the wind and strange things start happening around you, or is this just kind of you close your eyes and you're thinking?
it's not as powerful as the forced visions, but there is like the whole red eyes thing. Maybe her hair starts to seem a bit like feathers for a second before fading back to normal, that kind of stuff. Like skin slightly tinges black at the tips of her fingers before going back.
Right. I'm assuming the others have seen this obviously before, so
Yeah.
It's just an
now
Iron
we
Monday.
will.
I imagine every time he does it, Atlas
Yeah.
is every time Atlas does it, Lyra's fur kind of goes on, like how the fur kind of raises when an animal's like threatened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of does that.
All right, so you do have a vision, and this
one sorry.
was that-
I if it's a fully successful vision like the one I just got, it is a bit more transformation than the normal one, but still goes back down.
and then you will take a +1 forward, which means that the next time you have to roll something, you get to add +1 to it in addition to what your normal bonus would be. So just kind of
So that's like any roll, or specifically the next one I do.
this one, yeah, it'd be your very next roll. You get to use that +1. So the way it's written is, if you see it said +1 forward, it means your next roll. If it says +1 ongoing, it means like for the rest of whatever the scene is that you're a part of. So like if you're in a fight or something and you get a +1 ongoing, you get a +1 for anything that happens in that fight, that you're in. But the forward means you're gonna get it. You're gonna get on that very next roll whenever we roll again. So just kind of take a note of that. And you see a vision. There is a oddly familiar looking person, and it looks like you're in some sort of store maybe, and this person has this like strange looking staff, or it's basically a spear, and they are attacking Mina, and you see them actually run the spear through Mina and into like a wall behind her. And then
That's the whole vision.
that's your vision. So from your premonition, you're seeing that if things don't change, Mina is going to get killed by this person you saw. Now, the person you saw kind of from behind, it was a man in like this really nice black suit. He had black hair, and that's about all you could tell from the vision. But yeah, you really got this like strong sense of that person wasn't just what they looked like. So it could possibly be some sort of, maybe it's a shapeshifter, maybe it's, something different that was looking like a human at the time. But that's kind of what you got from the vision.
Yeah. Lyra and Mina see Atlas violently jolt, and their hair stays feathers for a little bit as they shout to Mina, "Mina! Don't trust strangers in good suits with black hair!"
Mina's eyes widen and say, what the heck did you see?
I don't want to describe it!
And that causes like a very concerned look to fall over Mina's face, and just like, she looks like to Lyra, And then back at Atlas. It wasn't me dying, was it?
Atlas stays suspiciously quiet as they look away, and their feathers start turning back into hair.
God, if I die on a Blockbuster case of all things, I'm going to haunt someone.
Lyra is like already ahead of you. I don't trust anybody in nice clothing. They are up to stuff.
Atlas, trying to lighten the mood, goes, "Oh, do my clothes not count as nice?"
Yeah, do mine?
You're gothy. You're geeky. Those are two different things.
Yeah, Atlas just barks out a laugh.
It's like Mina is like not sure whether to be offended or not. Like she finds it funny, but she like is like almost clinging to her sweater vest in offense.
Lyra sort of pauses for a second and is like, that's a compliment. I'm trying.
Now she fully giggles. Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
And then just real quick for everybody, we're gonna have 3 luck points. I know normally if you're playing like a full like campaign, you would get the luck that's marked on your sheet, but since it's a one shot, we'll just do 3. And then what luck does is you can change a roll to 12 or avoid all harm from an injury. All right. And so, is there anything you want to do, any of you, before going to the Blockbuster?
I'll also mention there's probably like a garage that's a bit of like a workshop.
All right.
Yeah.
So, is there any sort of like, do you have any ideas about what's going on? Do you want to kind of talk about that, or try to figure out? Obviously, you can't take every weapon known to mankind. So, do you have any ideas about what you should take?
Mina will like head back to her study where there's also like a little like wardrobe. It looks cute. It has like some like flower sort of engravings on it. She opens it and it's like full of weapons and like mystic things and whatnot. And she like squints at it and it's like, huh. Hey, what do you girls think I should bring for a ghost case? I mean, I guess we're assuming it's a ghost. If it's a guy, then well, she grabs her trusty baseball bat. Can't go wrong with this.
Yeah. Are there like stairs with a banister leading up to the loft?
Yeah.
Or is it like a ladder thing? Okay.
Stairs.
Yeah, Atlas slides down the banister and hops off at the end and comes over and is like, "Give me my hunting rifle, just in case. If it's a normal person, a point blank shot with a rifle's gonna hurt."
Here you go. And she also like picks up a pocket knife and slips it into her pocket, just in case that she needs a stealthier option.
Yeah, Atlas already had their big knife in like a holster on like either like their belt or like in a boot or something.
Yeah.
They have a big knife.
I think she like there's like at the bottom of the wardrobe there's a couple like drawers and she slides one open and like grabs some if I'm allowed to just say she materializes a few components. I think she will like grab some chalk and like salt, for like
Yeah, that's fine.
words and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm just using this time to let you guys figure like what you want to bring with you. Obviously you're, ghost chasers, so you do this for a living. You would have probably these things around, but yeah, you can decide what you're going to bring with you, and then, like say you can't bring like a whole collection of weapons, but figure out 1 or 2 things you want to bring with you for whatever might be there.
In addition to like the chalk and salt, she would also probably grab like a bottle of holy water. It's like a little like squirt gun.
Lyra, she kind of gets these brass knuckles, and she stuffs them in her pocket. Like, can't go wrong with these.
Hell yeah, sister.
Right.
Atlas is also going to grab a couple of like little magical trinkets, little charms and stuff, but mostly the kind of stuff you would use to predict the future, or like things like that. So like a pack of tarot cards. Those, I don't remember what they're called, but they're the little bone things where when you roll them, if they land in a specific way, it's yes, and if they land in a different way, it's no. That kind of stuff.
Oh, and I think Mina probably has like a big like book. It's kind of like stained and burnt in various areas, but it's like a monster grimoire sort of thing. And it has a whole section on like the different type of ghosts.
So are you guys ready to head to Blockbuster?
Yep.
I think so.
All right. So you head to Blockbuster. We're gonna assume you guys are fairly close to the location in Bend, Oregon, and you get there. It's I've obviously shared pictures of what the front looks like, but yeah, it's like a couple of customers are leaving. Parking lot area around it's pretty quiet. There's like a gas station nearby, a Carl Jr. But really, it's kind of quiet at the time, and it is kind of early summer. So we'll say like maybe late May, early June. So the weather's pretty nice. So you roll up to Blockbuster, and you do see like there's a couple people inside that look like they probably work there. And that's where we'll start from there. What would you like to do?
Alright, well, Mina, adjusts her little like backpack as she hops out of the van and then goes up to the front doors and opens them and wanders in. It's like, hey, can I speak to the Sandi? I'm here with the Triple M investigators.
There's a lady at the counter. She turns around, and you notice that she has this lovely Blockbuster name tag that says Sandi. And she says, "Well, hello."
Okay, Sandi, hi.
She says, "So good to see you. Um, so give me a second. I'm gonna finish up here, and I'm gonna get Dave to do the paperwork so we can talk for a little bit. And we'll be ready here shortly. You just want to take a look around, and I'll let you know when I'm ready."
Alrighty. Do I assume that Lyra and Atlas followed her in?
Yeah.
And she's like, come on, gang, let's take a look around.
Does anyone want to try to do any sort of investigating or anything?
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
Okay.
that would
So-
be like a sharp roll.
So yeah, if you want to investigate a mystery, you want to roll plus your sharp, and I don't know if I actually had that thing pulled up here, but if you get a 10 plus, you get to hold 2, and I'll explain what that means. You get a 7 to 9, you get to hold 1, and then obviously anything below that, it will backfire on you. So with the hold, for each hold you have, you can ask me several questions. Like you can ask a question like what's going on here? Is there a creature here? Is there anything that looks off? Just normal things that you'd be looking for. You can ask me, and I will give you the answer.
Okie dokie.
Okay. I did a investigating roll and I got an 11.
Okay. So you get to hold 2, so you can ask 2 questions.
Okay. How's hold 2 work again?
So you can ask me 2 questions about anything going on or the location you're at or anybody that's in the area. So basically, this
Right
is
now?
you investigating stuff, and I'm going to tell you specific things based off of how you ask the question.
Okay. Are there any signs of something being out of place or amiss in the Blockbuster?
There was one thing that you noticed, and you're not sure if it really means anything, but we will say that it does. As you were getting out of the van to come inside, you noticed that a few of the lights on the sign out front were out. And those lights that were out were the L, the O, the S, and the T.
Yeah, usually that kind of stuff you'd ignore because bad signage, usual. But when it spells out a message, Atlas is like writing down notes in their head about it.
All right, and you have another question.
I have a question.
What
Can someone
vibes
remind me what I typed to roll?
Oh, I got it.
My question is, what vibes is Atlas picking up from Sandi? Is there something like mysterious about her?
You would say she does act. I mean, obviously she's coming off as, what you would expect from a friendly store manager of a tourist spot. So, you got that. And she seems, very happy that you're there. Almost creepily so, though. Like, it's you almost feel like you would, like, if you were like long lost family or something. She's really happy that you guys are there. And that strikes you as odd.
Yeah. So either there's something going on mentally there or like magically there, or this lady is very, very desperate.
Yeah, and I mean it could be either of those things, but it's something, you do get something that's off, and it's just, obviously looking at the three of you from an outsider perspective, most people would kind of give you like a sideways glance, like something weird about these, three. But this lady does not have that. She's very happy to see you in like a weird way. You almost get this. You would kind of get this impression of. I'm thinking like you would see, like, you feel like you're walking into something that might turn out bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone else want to do any?
Yeah. So I rolled an 11. Or since my girl has a +1 that I forgot to write while I was doing the roll, but so that's an 11 on her investigation.
All right, so you get to have 2 questions.
Okay, cool. So I guess like she's looking around. She's trying to find like any like, I don't know, like ectoplasm or like scratch marks or anything that might give an indication of like what type of monster it is. Like, does she find anything like that?
So you definitely don't see anything or sense anything that gives you like straight up ghost vibes, but you do get the feeling, just kind of, back of your mind, you get the feeling that maybe somebody has died here before. But it doesn't look like anything's active right now. The room's not, obviously there's no ectoplasm around right now because if it was, Sandi would have cleaned it up for the customers. But it's not like anything of like cold or anything like you would normally think of with a ghost.
So more just like a lingering bad vibe than.
Yeah, and this place has been renovated a few times, so it's been around for a while, and it's it's the last surviving Blockbuster. So it's had its heyday, and now it's more of a it's still, you can still rent movies there. Of course, they're Blu-ray now. They have like a few VHS for sale, like in a little cart, but for the most part, it's Blu-ray stuff now, and obviously has like merch and things. There's even a display with Russell Crowe. It's like a little director's chair with Russell Crowe written on it, and one of them has Denzel Washington. That one, it actually, has a sign that says it was donated by John Oliver. Not sure what that's about, but it's a thing that's in there. But yeah, as far as like that sense that someone has died in here, that's kind of lingering on you. All right. And you got another question.
Got another question. Oh boy. I guess also as she's like wandering around, I think she's also like eyeing employees, trying to make sure it's not like, in her mind it's always like every mystery is always one of two things. It's either an actual monster or it's a person who's pretending to be a monster. Maybe sometimes through actual magical means. But she's now like eyeing the employees and things, and like Sandi, and like does she get any like off vibes from, like, I know like Sandi had some off vibes, but what about any other employees or characters hanging about?
So the last customers have left. It's getting about 15 minutes till closing. Doesn't look like anybody else is going to pop up last minute. And the only other person there than you guys and Sandi are Dave, and he's younger guy. He is a little like maybe creepy acting, but you don't think it's necessarily anything other than just he's just an odd guy. So he seems for the most part just to be doing his thing. He's shutting down a couple of registers, taking the tills to the back, and he's gonna probably count the money down, put it away in a safe. Probably doing like a quick check on the sales floor to make sure all the Blu-rays and stuff are lined up. Nothing's no trash or anything about. But yeah, he's just kind of doing his normal closing duties.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my test roll that I did in the chat as a 7 to do investigation.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So yeah, you get one question.
Do I smell anything off?
It is kind of tough with obviously the smell of popcorn, and the normal kind of semi-musty smell that you would get in a Blockbuster. You can also, there's some candy smells you're getting, and then you do get the slight hint of like something moldy. It's not like that a normal person would sense on the sales floor. I mean, the sales floor for the most part is pretty nice, but you're picking up maybe there's like more to the building than what you're seeing, and then you're getting almost like you get the impression of like a graveyard smell, if that makes sense to you.
Right.
So you're definitely picking up on maybe something or someone has died here before.
Right. All right.
All right, so that's the investigation piece, and now Dave is done. He punches out, kind of nods at you guys and heads out the front door. And then Sandi comes up. She starts talking to you, and she says, "Well, I think I kind of explained some of the stuff that's going on. Like I said, I'm starting to see things happen during the daytime, and for the most part, I've been able to keep it from the customers. If something gets flipped off a shelf, we can just pick it up quick, or if one of the TVs turns to a different channel or turns off, we can just say, oh, we're just, loading up another movie. So we've been playing it off, but there's something going on and we need to figure this out. Or like I said, I can't, for the safety of people coming here, I can't leave this place open. And, I've spent most of my life working at this store, starting out as like a part-timer. So, I definitely want to keep it open. Do you guys have any questions, before I close it up? Like I said, I'll be back in the morning. I'll be back. I'll probably try to get here about 7 o'clock to get things started and let you guys out.
Yeah. I guess first question, is there, have you kept, okay, I know the outside doors will be locked, but, are there any, internal doors that should be unlocked before you leave so we can have full access to look at everything?
Sure. And so she takes you to a door kind of in the back of the showroom, opens that up. She said, this is normally, always open. But then there's a hallway down there. There's a couple of bathrooms kind of on the left of the hallway. So that, it's the men's and the women's on the left. And then you have the office on the right. And that's, where they would, have keep their personal things or, do paperwork, count down the tills. And then just past that, there's another room is for storage. And that's, where they would have any of the extra supplies or anything, extra merch, that they would put out to the sales floor. So it's for keeping things to restock the sales floor. Other than that, that looks to be all the rooms. And she checks the storage room just to make sure it's unlocked. She says, okay, that one's unlocked, so you should be good to go.
Right. Oh,
anything else?
Yes, it's a bit of a morbid question, but since you've been working here a long time, do you know if anyone's ever died, especially under strange circumstances here?
She pauses and thinks and says, I know we had a couple of times where some of our older guests had some issues. I think, there was one lady, years ago that maybe had a start of a heart attack, but, we called the ambulance and they took her away. I mean, she got better. Of course, then she died, but, she got better. So no one's really died here, that I know of.
Okay. Well, I guess that's good. No one's died, though. That does.
Yeah. Atlas is gonna walk over, shuffling their tarot cards. And, she's gonna ask, what specifically happened that has made you sure something is going on here to the point of calling us?
So it started out, not much to it. I mean, you have boxes will fall off of shelves. It's just something that happens, sometimes it's just the air condition might blow something a little off or something. Things will fall and you'll see them in the morning. But then he got to where there's more boxes on the floor. There was, candy was moved around. Some of the merchandise was actually pulled off of the hangers. We would come in and the TVs would be on, just blaring high volume. There'd be different movies playing in them than we left in from the night before. So it started out with weird stuff like that. And, we just came in and fixed it. I had the local police, look at it one time and they really didn't find anything. So we just kind of let it go for a while. And then it got to where it was happening during the day, so our popcorn maker would come on when we hadn't started it. Like I said, the TVs would change channels during the day. The furniture would get moved around in our little bed and breakfast area. It was just things like that. And as I'm seeing this, something's going on. And I know that if I don't take care of it now, somebody could get hurt. So I'm trying to just protect, the the folks that work here, the customers. I don't want anybody to get hurt by whatever this is. And since you guys deal with this sort of thing, I want you to figure out what it is and get it taken care of so I can keep running this business.
Any security cameras?
We do. We have some security cameras. If you want to look at the footage over that, I've not seen anything other than when things move around overnight, but it doesn't. There's no one that we can find actually doing it. So, we'll just watch it, and sometimes a box will fall off, or a TV will come on, but we don't see anybody moving around. And we even look for had pest control in to make sure it wasn't like big rats or something. So you can look at it if you want, but I haven't found anything.
All right, that's
one more thing Atlas says, and asks, have you been having trouble keeping the lights on your sign lit up, or is that a new development along with the rest of this?
It's actually part of the nostalgia of it is we use the old style light bulbs. So they do have a tendency, to, break over time. They'll go out. And so as much as I can, I try to keep them up, but it's really expensive to replace those old light bulbs. Everyone's gone to like a LED style now, and the old ones are just so expensive to have replaced. I kind of replace them as we can, but if it's a couple out, I don't mind.
Atlas nods.
And then she looks down at her watch and says, "Well, I better let you guys do what you do. I need to get home and try to get some dinner going."
all right. Thank you for answering our questions.
All right. And like I said, enjoy. If you need some snacks or something, just let me know what you use, and we'll just, call it even, just so you can have something to eat on overnight. And then she heads out the door and locks it.
Lyra turns to Atlas and is like, I smell dead bodies.
Because I started, what?
I smell dead bodies. It's right underneath the popcorn smells. It's like a dead body.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, Atlas nods and is like, I've been getting those vibes too. Also, the sign outside specifically has lights out that the lights that are on say lost. So either that's a very bad coincidence or,
Penis face crunches up like, oh yeah, that could be a sign. And I was getting the sense, and so kind of start strolling around the shelves, that something has died here before. It's like it hangs in the air oppressively. I know I'm not as supernaturally inclined as you two are, but if I'm feeling something like that, it must be something, even if it's not a known thing. I don't think Sandi is lying, though. It's hard to tell. Why would she contact us if she's behind it,
Yeah, Atlas does say, yeah, also... One second. Sorry. Yeah, also, either something's manipulating her through something, or she is so desperate that she's acting so happy to see us, you might think we're a long-lost family.
And as you guys are talking, all of a sudden the sharp, piercing sound starts going off. And let's see. Our werewolf, you're going to take, because that sound is so sharp and piercing, you're going to take 1 harm from that.
Oh. Lyra immediately begins whimpering. It's like,
Oh no! Can I say like Mina like pulls out like emergency like noise muffling headphones from her backpack?
Yeah, I was about to say, someone pass Lyra the headphones. If we've been working this long, we've got them.
She has like pulls them out and puts them on Lyra's head.
Lyra winces, both at being touched and at being at the noise. She's like, "The hell is that?"
It's a very good question. Mina's like yelling over the noise, then turns around like covering her own ears.
Atlas is trying to find the source of the noise, especially looking at like the TVs and stuff.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's the alarm for if somebody's breaking into the building. And as you guys are trying to figure out what's going on, Sandi comes back in the door, and she's trying to tell you something, but you can't hear her over the alarm. And she runs over to a box and punches in a code, and it cuts off. And she says, "I am so sorry. I completely forgot to cut that off. All right, you should be good to go. I'm gonna head out." And she walks out the door and locks it again.
Mina's quiet for a second, then looks at Lyra and said, "Well, at least we know the ghost isn't using sonic attacks."
Atlas just like has his head in his hands and is like, "Great way to start the night off, get our nerves up even more."
Lyra is still trying to like hear a little bit. She's a bit. She's been rendered a little bit deaf at the moment. She's like, "What?"
All right, and
Mina gives Lyra a sympathetic, like a very soft pat.
all right, and so what do you guys want to do now? So right now everything is calm. They do have the lights turned down a little bit just so people will know that the store is closed, but you can still see fine inside the building.
Mm-hmm. I think what I want to do is have Mina, like, I think she, like, goes around the shelves and finds, like, like a random movie and puts it into one of, like, the empty TV sets, and it's like, I'm just gonna set up a few things to see if they get moved during the course of the night.
All right. And so you get a movie started. What movie did you pick out?
What movie would she pick out? Like, I almost feel like she would grab, like, a random rom-com, like... It's like not even something she particularly cares for. It's just like the first thing she grabbed off the shelf and was like, "Oh yeah, this would be so annoying that if I were a ghost, I would want to change this."
Yeah. When they were in the van, Atlas kept jokingly suggesting they watch movies that have the Mothman in it.
You know what? She picks a rom-com that's like a weird Mothman love story.
Atlas sees the pick in her hand and bursts out laughing and goes, "Yes! Yes!"
All right. So obviously you've got popcorn, snacks. There's drinks. So you got plenty as far as like food and anything. And you start playing the movie, and everything seems pretty calm for the first hour or so. And then the phone rings.
I think Atlas would be the one to pick it up.
Like, I imagine the three had been kind of like lounging, like maybe in like the B&B sort of area. Yeah. It's like when the phone rings, it's like they all slowly turn to look at it.
Yeah, it's you kind of have this ominous feeling, as that thing's ringing, and you said Atlas goes to answer it.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you say when you answer
it? Hello, this is Blockbuster. It's past closing hours. Why are you calling?
And you just hear heavy breathing on the other end.
And Atlas just goes, "Oh, God damn it." That's what you're gonna do? And they start like going on a rant, like heavy breathing, pretty typical. You gonna answer me or what?
It just keeps on. It's just more heavy breathing.
Like the breathing gets heavier.
Yeah, they start breathing heavily back in the phone, like mockingly, like oh.
Like Mina is watching this with wide eyes and then starts like trying not to laugh as her face like a smile starts building on her face.
And Atlas is just like, go screw yourself. Seriously, these cliche tropes. This one specifically, always. Why can't they do something more cool? Why can't they do something more original? Be creative.
Yeah, get more original material.
Yeah,
Lyra
she, like,
pipes up
slams
like,
the phone
bark
back
into it!
down. Yeah, she does. She like barks violently into the phone and then like slams it down.
Lyra's on the couch like, yeah!
All right, so that was the most excitement for that. So now it's getting around 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
We're approaching
phone
the
call
witching hour.
perfect drawing
Yeah.
potential. That phone
Yeah.
call has perfect drawing potential.
And you do notice like the parking lot lights go out, which doesn't make sense because they're supposed to stay on at night, for people that might actually be going to the parking lot, but they all go out.
Yeah.
And
Atlas is like, it's starting, guys. We got the heavy breathing. We got the lights.
We got the lights. Oh, and we're approaching the witching hour. That's when we're gonna see our fucking ghost. Like she actually gets up and looks out into the parking lot. Hold on, I want to and she presses her face up against like the window to squint out. Like, do you think like the trope thing of they turn all the lights out and as they watch, so like one will flicker on with a silhouette of a figure and then it will flicker off and then a closer one, and the figure will get closer and closer. I think she squints at the lights as I'm waiting to see if that will happen.
Yeah, I think Atlas like pulls a checklist out of Mina's backpack and starts checking off the tropes that have already happened. They've been in this business 3 years. They're allowed to make jokes.
all right. And so as you're peering out into the darkness now, you kind of jump because you hear something fall into something fell into like a box, and you realize that somehow a VHS tape just got dropped into the return box, even though there's no one outside to put it in the box.
Lyra's gonna reach into the return box and look at the tape.
Okay. It's in a Blockbuster case. When you open the tape, there's no label on it.
We got a haunted tape, guys! And she holds it up and kind of waves it about.
Like Mina immediately perks up a haunted tape. Okay, yeah, we gotta watch this. And like she sprints over to the TV and like ejects okay, I bet the weird Mothman movie had a bunch of crappy sequels. So it's like they were on the third one, and she just ejects it out. It's like, come on, bring it over here. I want to see the haunted tape.
I call not being the one getting cursed. As she kind of hands Mina the tape.
Okay. You always call that. Fine, I'll take it so Mina doesn't get it.
Well, you don't have to. I'm okay with being cursed. I mean, the last exorcism wasn't super fun, but...
Girl, I've already had a premonition about you. No way.
Okay, fine, here.
Yeah, Atlas is the one to put the tape in and start it. They also pull a tarot card before they start it, just to get a vibe. Just in case.
All right. Yeah, you do, none of you really want to see what's on the tape. You just have this feeling that whatever's on there is not good.
Yeah.
But it's kind of that that morbid curiosity. Why was this thing stuck in the box, and what put it there, and something from outside of the building has somehow reached into the building with this. So as you put the tape in, it starts to play, and then there's this loud click, and then it starts making this weird sound, and you realize that whoever or whatever put it in there was not kind. They did not rewind, and so the tape's rewinding.
Yeah, Atlas just like sticks his tongue out and like looks at the tarot card he drew. Like, what kind of tarot card did he get?
It would be one that symbolized the doomed.
Ooh. Oh yeah, so Tower then. That's like
Okay.
you're fucked card.
Mm-hmm.
And Atlas like holds it up to the others like someone on a shopping channel would present their product, like holding up in one hand and like running the other hand under it, and it's like, look.
Like Mina like strokes her chin and nods and like hums, and her like lips are pursed. She's like, okay.
All right. So it finally stops rewinding after what seems like, an eternity. And I'm assuming you guys would know how to hit play on the VCR.
Yeah.
So then you hit play, and it starts out, kind of a little staticky looking, and then you see a video. It's showing a couple of like younger folks in it, and you can tell they've got like all this kind of cool equipment stuff. So really a ghost hunter vibe to them, and obviously whoever's holding the camera, and it's kind of like one of those found footage videos. They definitely didn't use Steadicam, and so it's showing them setting up. You can kind of hear a little bit of what they're saying, talking about hey, we got this cool job, we got to find out about this ghost hunting this Blockbuster. Sounds like a lot of stuff going on. We've got our equipment, getting that set up now, and we'll get started here in a few minutes. And there's like goes to black a little bit, comes back on, and you kind of got the image of them staring into the cameras. Yeah, so far this is really boring. Not much going on. Not seeing anything. We're getting some readings, but it's nothing really strong. And you kind of see them walking around the store, and the actual boxes on the shelves at this point, there are still some VHS on the shelves, so you can tell it's like maybe from a few years ago. And they're like, yeah, I can't believe this is like the last Blockbuster. Yep, I guess we're just gonna have a really nice night, enjoy some snacks, watch some movies, and get paid. And then it goes to black. Go ahead.
Atlas like elbows Lyra and says, $10, this is a murder tape, and the thing that's happening is they keep calling mystery groups in to get like sacrificed or something.
I didn't ask. I didn't sign up to be a sacrifice.
I'm just saying, usually things follow a pattern.
Yeah, I'm expecting at least one person to disappear under mysterious circumstances on this tape.
Yeah.
But anyway,
murder tape for sure.
Let's see where it goes. Like, she's like kind of eating popcorn.
And then it comes back on, and you see them like going into the bathrooms. They're looking around, and one of them says, yeah, I think I heard something. And then one of the others says, yeah, I'm picking up some strong readings. And then once they go through the bathrooms, they check out the office. The safe is open for some reason, and there's like money scattered all over the floor. And they're like, okay, something's here. And then there's like a loud bang in the next room. And they go over to the storage room and open it up. And then the screen goes black.
Monster's gonna appear in the storage room, isn't it, guys?
Lyra is pulling out the brass knuckles already.
And then it comes back on, and you see this, one face in front of the camera, and he calls himself Tim, and he says, "Yeah, this is Tim Jones. I hope somebody gets this. I don't think I'm making it out of here tonight. The others are dead, and I don't know what that thing was, but it killed them. There's like entrails everywhere, and I'm not going to be able to make it out of this. I'm trapped in this closet, and I don't know what's going on." And then you hear like another loud bang, and this like real sinister laughter. And you notice that the laughter sounds like it's coming from a female. And then, there's something that swings like in front of Tim, and then the camera just is pointing up at the ceiling, and you hear like these loud sounds of something, beating on something that's kind of sounds like it's splattering, and you don't hear Tim anymore. And it's like you see like blood start hitting up against the wall.
Yeah. Atlas just goes, "We'll avenge you, Tim and Co., fellow mystery solvers."
Like, Mina has like a very like upset face, and she's like, "Okay, that was a female laugh. That was a female evil laugh cackle thing." And Sandi didn't tell us that she had hired more crews before. I don't want to
And
believe
Sandi
Sandi
had
yet,
those weird
but she might
vibes.
be possessed, or she might be evil.
Yeah, or someone shape-shifting, which is also possible.
Completely possible.
Atlas looks to Lyra for her ideas.
Lyra, she has like the brass knuckles on at this point, and she's like, "As long as it's punchable, I got this."
I think the banging suggests some amount of physicality. Even though we seem to be having evidence of it being able to go intangible, or like she snaps her fingers, like, or if it's just invisible, it might be just running around like willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Atlas
dang it.
nods and
Hold
thinks
on, wait,
back
what
to
if
their
we set
plan.
up some, like, I don't know if we would have flour, but if we had anything powdery like that, we could put it around some places and see
Don't
if
you
they...
have chalk?
I do have chalk. I didn't bring, like, a lot of sticks, so I'm not sure if I want to pulverize them if we want to do, like, a entrapping circle.
No, I mean, like, we could set up a few trails of, like, powdered chalk around, and if it gets disturbed, voila, someone's here with us.
Yeah, okay.
We could put them at, like, the entrances of doors.
Yeah, let's do that. So she gets out, like, they're, like, kind of those big, like, street chalk sticks, like, not just, like, little classroom ones, and she, like, takes one and she sort of, like, starts trying to, like, grind it down, since they're, like, they're sticks of chalk, they're not, like, super easily breakable.
Atlas, like, looks to Lyra with, like, you gonna help? Look.
Lyra grabs like a stick of chalk and just crushes it in her hands and pulverizes it into dust.
Good job, Lyra. Meanwhile, like, Mina has set one up on a counter and has her baseball bat ready to swing and just, like, rings it down, like, bang, bang, bang.
Atlas, meanwhile, is collecting the powder you guys make and is, like, sprinkling it along the lines of doors and stuff.
Lyra walks over to Mina and is like, "You want help with that?"
I think I got it. I think I got it. Well, actually, give it a good punch for good measure.
Lyra punches the chalk, and basically a little cloud of dust shoots up from it, and she kind of coughs, is like, "Got it."
I That's what you do imagine,
Atlas
like, Mina's looking at this with, like, a blush and, like, a little, like, smile, and she's internally thinking, wow, she's so hot.
I love
Atlas
big, strong women.
Yeah, Atlas comes over collecting up the powder to keep using and also says, you guys sure look white now, as they point out all the powder that's getting on everyone.
If anyone touches us, we can tell.
You can tell that anyway.
You do notice that you can start seeing your breath, and the air's gotten a little chilly.
Oh,
Oh,
hotspot time!
and Atlas pulls out the checklist again.
And the popcorn maker has started up. And then Lyra starts sensing that there's like a smell to it that's not popcorn. And you all start kind of feeling a little off.
Lyra sniffs a little harder and tries to kind of place what the smell exactly is.
All right. The room kind of starts spinning a little bit.
Oh.
And
I presume we have smell. Yeah.
And you all black out.
Oh.
Dang it, I was gonna pull out smelling salts.
All right, and then Mina, you feel something bump up against you, and you hear someone go, "Excuse me, I'm trying to get to that." You all open your eyes, and you're back in the Blockbuster, but it looks like it's from years ago. So it doesn't look like it did when you went in that night. You're like in the same building. And it's, during the day, and there's people in the Blockbuster, getting movies and stuff, and you guys are just kind of standing there going, what just happened?
Yeah. Atlas looks around, lets out an impressed whistle, and then checks another thing off the checklist.
Like, Mina's, like, wide-eyed, open mouth, looking around, and it's like, oh god. Okay. What do we think? Hallucination or time travel?
Could be either.
Lyra.
I checked off both.
Lyra's like slowly nodding, like, I think we time traveled.
Wait, hold on, wait, someone pinch me. If I can feel it really clearly, I'm gonna assume this is time travel. If it feels sort of weird and numb, it's a hallucination.
Yeah. Atlas just straight up nips you instead of pinching you.
Oh, Atlas! May I ask how the sensation felt?
You can feel it.
Just normal feeling of being nipped by your friend.
I assume you feel that a lot because Atlas is absolutely the type to bite as affection.
How about Lyra?
All right, and Lyra, you kind of hear something that sounds a little off. It's almost like you can hear somebody crying, like in a nearby room, and you guys are on the sales floor right now.
Lyra is gonna move towards the crying.
Okay.
Mina sees Lyra on the move and starts following, and she's like cautiously scanning.
I think as like a rule, our group would have been like, okay, first rule, don't split up if you can. You've seen what happens if you split up.
One of the abilities that, or moves, I guess, like Mina has is, don't worry, I'll check it out. Whenever you go off by yourself to check out somewhere, mark experience.
So, Mina, you saying you're going to check it out by yourself?
No, she's sticking with the group. I just find it funny that like she must go against that rule sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, so the three
Atlas
of you
gets annoyed every single time you go against it.
All right, so the three of you are going together and to find out about the noise.
Yep.
Okay. So you go through the door. The hallway still looks the same. And you can hear the crying's actually coming from the office. And as you look around the door, you see Sandi sitting there, and she's like looking at this piece of paper. And you can kind of tell, like, looking over her shoulder, she doesn't notice you for some reason. It's almost like you're not there. But you can see her reading this piece of paper, and it's basically telling her that, due to the economy and everything, that they're going to require her to shut her store down. And she's the last Blockbuster, and they're going to have her shut the store down. And then she takes the paper and balls it up, throws it in the trash, and then she gets out some stuff out of the drawer, and she starts drawing some stuff on the floor. She's doing like a circle, and she starts drawing some symbols, and you guys may have seen these symbols before. But it looks like she's, oddly enough, in the office of a Blockbuster, setting up a summoning ritual.
Lyra looks at the other two and kind of mouths, "Are you seeing this?"
Mina nods, but she's also trying to keep a close eye on, like, the symbols.
Yeah. Atlas, I think, is paying close attention to Sandi specifically, see if there's anything up with her eyes or if she's about to get possessed or anything.
So far, the only thing you're really seeing with their eyes is just, obviously from crying, they're reddened. But you can tell, like, there's this intensity about her now. And the way it looks, she may have done this before. Or at least, she seems to know what she's doing. And she starts, using, Latin, as people are wont to do when they're doing summoning rituals. And pretty soon, you see a figure appear in the circle. And it's a very nice looking gentleman in a nice black suit. And he has black hair.
Atlas like puffed up and points and goes, "Him!"
Oh, well, at least my murderer dresses smart.
And so yeah, this whatever appears in the circle. You have the impression that it looks like Sandi's about to make a deal with a demon of some sort. And he greets her and goes, "So you called me here. What can I do for you?" And then she explains to him about the letter and about, how she's been working at this Blockbuster all of her life. And she just can't believe, this Blockbuster, this thing that was, so great and, internationally known, is now down to this one store. And she says this is her life. She's always worked here. And she can't let it go. She said there's got to be some way that I can keep this store open. And he thinks for a bit and he goes, "I believe there is. There is a way." He says, "How long do you want to keep it open?" And she says, "Forever." And he goes, "We can do that. There is a little price involved." She says, "Anything. I'll do anything." He says, "Well, tell you what. I'll make sure this Blockbuster stays open. and that you continue to run it under these stipulations. Each year, you have to give me 3 sacrifices.
Ellis goes, called it!
And she says, I'll do whatever it takes. Glad to hear that. And he pulls out, a nice long piece of paper. Has a lot of writing on it. She obviously doesn't read any of it. And quickly cuts her finger and signs on the bottom. And he goes, it's a pleasure doing business with you. I'm sure we'll see each other again sometime. And then he vanishes. And then you guys wake back up. You're in modern day. You're in the Blockbuster. And everything for right now seems quiet. And it is midnight.
Mina
Ellis
is
turns-
pissed.
Yeah, Ellis turns to Mina and is like, how many bottles of holy water did you get?
And she grabs into her backpack, and it's basically like a super soaker of holy water.
You hang on to that.
Yep.
Lyra sort of practices a couple punches and is like, it's a demon! I can punch it!
Ellis is like, well, not the first time we'll be dealing with something like this. Honestly, do people never read the contracts they're making? Like, I get you're desperate, but like, what if you need a lawyer? Negotiate!
Maybe that's what we could do. We could do demon law.
Mina laughs.
Ace attorney, but demons.
Yeah, maybe we give him a better deal, but I don't feel like I want to sacrifice like 4 people to a demon just so that he doesn't kill us, because this one lady is okay with sacrificing 3 people a year just to keep a place that sells CDs open.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have some loose paper and, the chalk and the salt. We can make a wording circle and stand it until day.
Let's go ahead and have that at the ready so we can make one and run in it if it comes after us.
Yeah, where do you think, since... Like, she looks around the room at the shelves. It's like, do you think in here, or should we start checking out the back a bit more?
I think the back is a good idea.
Yeah, but let's make the circle before we start moving out. That way, if something does happen, we can run back and have a safe zone.
Yeah. Makes sense. So she, gets up and she starts grabbing the chalk back out and some salts and basically just starts... She heads back over to, the couch and basically makes a giant circle around the couch and, sprinkles the salt along it. And then she points to it, make sure not to disturb this. If the salt line breaks, then the demon could get to us.
Lyra carefully steps over the salt line, careful not to disturb it.
All right. So what do you guys want to do now?
I think we'll probably, go to the back, I think Mina would want to check out the office to see if she could find, the demon contract and... Or, anything suspicious or, other occult tools or anything.
All right. We will go ahead and do a investigate a mystery. So roll plus your sharp.
Okay.
Can Atlas also roll?
$11 again.
Nice. So you get 2 questions. And so you're looking for the contract, right?
Yeah.
All right. So if you're looking in the office and you're looking for the contract, there's a safe and there's a large picture of the front of the Blockbuster that could potentially be hiding it. But it's more than likely the safe.
Yeah, I think she just like peers under the painting just to see if there's anything under it.
Okay. There's nothing under the painting, but you do notice that, and this is because you got 2 on that, the painting looks a little thicker than it should.
Yeah, I think she'll investigate the back of it and kind of like see if it's like hiding like anything within itself, like if it has a false back.
And it does. And inside of it, there's a contract.
I assume the other 2 had followed her in, so she like holds aloft the contract and then like looks it over. In fact, she gets out a little magnifying glass just to look over the fine print.
Yeah, Atlas is also going to inspect it and see if there's anything they can use in the contract as like a way to stop the demon.
Yeah, like she's trying to look for like any like ends of service sort of like thing or like ways to get out of it.
While they're doing that, can I investigate the rest of the room and see if I find anything sussy?
You actually are still picking up that smell that you got before, but you notice like it gets stronger as you get to the storage room.
Can I turn into my wolf form and investigate the storage room?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to turn into my wolf form, which gives me, once I open up my thing, a +1 to investigate a mystery. Gonna roll my physical dice. Ooh, 6, 1. I got an 8 for that.
So you can ask a question.
What is the source of that smell?
You feel like it's coming from behind the wall.
Oh.
As we all know, corpses make great installation.
Lyra's gonna start scratching at the wall. See if I can dislodge some of like the wallpapering or something.
And you start to do that, and the door slams shut behind you.
Oh,
no, you broke the rule. Like, I think Mina and Atlas had been back in the office looking over the thing, and Mina hears the door slam and immediately like gets up, looks around, and is like, "Oh shit, Lyra!" and starts running.
Yeah, Atlas keeps reading the contract while Mira goes off to help. Because, 1, if they do find something, they gotta use it. And 2, Lyra, what did he say?
All right. So, yeah, the area on the wall where you started scratching opens up, and you do find several skeletons.
Oh. Lyra transforms more back into her more humanoid shape and immediately pulls out the brass knuckles and just starts whipping around looking for anyone that she can punch.
Okay. All right, so now we're back to Mina and Atlas. So Atlas, you said you were going to check on Lyra?
No, Mina said that.
Mina's
Atlas
going to check on. Atlas is looking at the contract. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mina, you step out to the hallway, and the door slams on the office.
And then she like curses because she just realized she's been duped. Now they're all separated. So I think she immediately turns around and tries the office door, like, and I assume like the handle jiggles and she can't open it.
Yeah, and you hear like someone's opening the door to the hallway, and you see obviously a very familiar figure. This nicely dressed man, nice black suit, and this really bizarre looking staff.
She has out her spray bottle. She has out the water gun of holy water.
And he's just, as he's walking up to you, he just kind of starts sliding the staff along the wall beside him.
Atlas, she
And
says, Atlas, the thing you predicted is starting to happen.
Yeah, Atlas just yelled through the door, "Pray and spray, girl!"
I think like she she's holding the water gun at the guy and it's like, stay back or I'm gonna spray your face off.
and he kind of chuckles a little bit and goes, "Isn't that sweet?" And he goes, "Where have you ever read that holy water would do anything to a demon?"
Literally everywhere.
Like she's almost like flabbergasted. Like, it's literally common knowledge.
He goes, "Okay, well, fake news, but feel free to give me a nice bath if you want."
Just to spite him, she does spray his face.
All right, and when you do, it actually does burn him. He goes, "Well played, but now I'm going to have to kill you."
And she just books it towards the storage room.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Can I investigate the contract?
yeah,
Yippee.
and just keep in mind that you don't have a whole lot of time to read it, so you need to have a pretty good roll.
Well, I'd say I did because I got double sixes and a 1 to my thing. So
Excellent. So you're reading through the contract, and the way you void the contract is you either destroy the demon or you destroy Sandi. So one of the two parties, one or both of the parties of the contract have to be terminated.
Atlas is gonna start looking at the security cameras and see if there's any sign of Sandi still being around, because she's significantly easier to deal with than a demon.
So you're pulling up the security cameras, and we'll go back to Lyra.
So Lyra, I want you to know you can hear like Mina yelling in the like as she's approaching the store. Lyra, do you have an on my tail? Do you have an on my tail?
Lyra books it towards the door, and suspecting it's closed, she starts kicking at the hinges, trying to like knock the door off the hinges.
Like, I feel like what is it, like the fireman kick or something that can get doors to break open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I believe you have something you can do with that.
I have a tough roll. Oh, unholy strength. Roll weird instead of tough when you kick some ass.
There you go.
You're
All
kicking the door thing, Russ.
Yeah. All right. All right. So that's an 8 on my end.
Okay. So you kick the door, and after you kick it, it doesn't come off the hinges, but it does pop open, and you realize that all you need to do is pull it. It's a pull versus a push.
Either way, it's open. So she
Door's
grabs
open
she grabs Mina and like yanks her in with her.
All right, so you're in the storage room now, and
Completely ignoring the warding circle we made.
then where's your circle, by the way?
We made the circle around the couch in the front room.
Yeah, he didn't come in that way, but anyway, so
it's
what
more
would you
like
like
a
to do now?
safety zone than warding for. It's more like if they can't get a chance to run in there, it'll be like the "you can't touch me" zone.
Yeah, but unfortunately, all of you are out of that zone right now. So, what would you like to do?
Okay, can I like read a bad situation to see if Mina can like figure out like the best way to get past the demon or like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, that would be a sharp. Since I'm reading that webpage you sent a link to.
Yeah.
2d6 plus 1. 8.
Okay. So you can ask a question about this situation.
Okay, so Mina and Lyra are now in the storage room. The door's open. Is there any way that they could slip around? Like, is there a back door or something? Like they could slip out of the building and go back around front or something? Or any way to evade the demon?
So there is a fire exit. So like the end of the hallway, there's like a fire exit there, where you could run out of the building.
Mina points to that. Okay, we could slip out and oh dang it, that would be leaving Atlas alone. But shit. The demon is here and he has murderous intent.
I have murderous intent too. And Lyra pulls out her magnum and points it at the open door.
I think also Mina starts grabbing Lyra and starts shuffling towards the escape since she whispers to Lyra, okay, here's the plan. When he goes in through that door, shoot at him, then we run out the back door if it's open. Actually, you know what? Just make sure it's open. And then we can get out. And then we can break back in through the front. And then get into the warding circle and figure out a better plan.
Lyra nods and is like, got it.
All right, so Lyra, what are you shooting at him with?
I have a 9mm.
Mm-hmm. What type of rounds are you using?
Oh.
I mean, since you're a werewolf who fights other werewolves, probably silver, right?
No, I'm vulnerable to silver.
Fair enough.
Shoot, I didn't grab any rounds, did I?
No, I assume you come with rounds. You just need to figure out what type you use.
Oh, okay. Metals.
You do have.
Oh.
You do have the gun that did something with Mina, right?
Yeah, the holy water gun.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, I think I see. Alright. So since I don't have any rounds, Lyra's like, what about the gun? Your gun.
I think she'll hand over the spray bottle.
Lyra locks it.
Since and just say Mina has the power of heart. When fighting a monster, if you help someone, don't roll a plus cool, you automatically help as though you rolled a 10.
All right, so what would you like to help out with?
When the demon shows up in the doorway and Lyra shoots at him, can I help to make sure it hits or has good damage or something?
Like help steady aim or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you could do that.
So with D&D, I know help means rolling with advantage or whatever, but I don't know how this one.
Well, this one you're basically automatically going to give him a success.
Yeah.
All right. So the demon steps around the corner, and you grab a hold to Lyra's arm and you try to steady it, and Lyra fires, and once again it burns the demon, and he steps back a little bit, and he yells, and now he's getting angry.
Lyra squares up between him and Mina, and I'm assuming Mina's trying the door.
Yeah, Mina's trying to push the door open. Is it unlocked or are they trapped?
It's locked.
Yeah, she swears, but she kind of expected this.
Break the glass, girly.
The glass is it's a fire escape door, so I don't know if that would be a wide enough window to get out. But I think she does, like,
Probably not. Yeah.
like, look around. They're in the storage room. I bet there's a bunch of, like, boxes and things. Is there, like... Okay, so there's a fire door. Is there, like, anywhere, like, a fire axe?
No. There's a snow shovel.
Snow stuff. Yeah, that's not really probably going to be any more effective than her bat. So I think she just, like, brings out her bat, gets out a stick of chalk, and she kind of, like, writes, like, a anti-demon symbol on the bat. That might make it more effective against the demon.
All right. And you can go ahead and attack. So obviously it's go ahead and do your kick some ass.
Yeah, kick some ass. So that's a tough roll, right?
Yes.
Okie dokie. +1, yeah, that's a +1. Okay. 8.
So yeah, you swing the bat and he's also swinging his spear. So you hit him and then he also hits you. So you suffer 1 harm.
Okie dokie, and my bat does 2 harm.
Okay. So yeah, you knock him back pretty good down the hallway. And as he's going backwards, he hits the door of the office and knocks it off its hinges.
Nice. Atlas.
Yeah. While he's got his back turned, can Atlas, like, pull out their hunting rifle and put it square in his back and pull the trigger?
Sure.
Yippee!
We're gonna kill a demon, y'all.
Yeah. Hunting rifle is 2 harm, far, and loud, but I assume it can be used for close. Do I roll something?
Yeah, just to kick some ass.
Cool. Actually, instead of that, I have the big whammy, where I can use my powers to kick some ass, and I roll weird.
Okay.
And it's 2 harm, close, obvious, ignore armor.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll for that. Mothman time!
Big whammy.
Weird. Big whammy.
I got a 10.
Very good. All right. So big whammy. So that's 2.
So yeah, I get the full, like, Mothman arms and hair and stuff, and I, like, slash him with the claws. Right
And-
across the back.
And since you did that, he drops his spear. And it kind of rolls down towards Mina and Lyra.
Lyra kicks the spear towards Mina, is like, grab it!
Yeah, Mina grabs the spear.
Reverse the premonition!
It's like,
reverse target.
Baseball bat one hand, spear the other. Probably ineffective to be holding either of these single-handed, but that's what she's doing.
All right, so what do you want to do?
I guess can she just examine the spear for a second to see if it's, like, special in any way, or, like, has sigils or anything on it?
Yeah, it has a lot of weird markings on it. And it has, like, metal rings going down it. So, yeah, it feels very powerful in your hand.
Boy.
Also, did my search for if Sandi is still around come up with anything?
You did see a car in the parking lot. And it's possible that someone's in there, just your van, and then there's like this car that's in the parking lot. So you're assuming that's her car?
Yeah. Atlas is gonna shout to Mina, Mina! Car! If it's Sandi, kill!
I mean, I don't know how I feel about killing a human person, but okay. And like she like puts her baseball bat away, and what she's gonna do is she's basically gonna like charge at the demon, to try and like make it out of the hallway, but she's gonna have the spear at the ready. So.
Are you trying to attack the demon with a spear?
Yeah, basically she's gonna try and impale him again on her way out.
Okay.
Yeah, sooner reverse card that premonition, baby.
Yeah, and I don't know how much harm the spear will do, but I guess you know that, so.
Okay.
2d6 plus 1. 7.
All right. So yeah, the spear runs into the demon, and you can tell he's hurting pretty bad, and he looks up, as you're running past him, because obviously it's in him now, so you wouldn't be able to carry it with you. But yeah, it's in him, and he looks up, and he's in a lot of pain, and he says, "That's it, I'm out of here," and then he disappears.
Ooh.
Does he take the spear with him?
Mm-hmm.
Dang it. Lyra's gonna follow Mina, and she's gonna turn into her wolf form.
And Mina's now, since she ditched the spear in that guy's gut, she's now taking back out her baseball bat, and she's just gonna, like, run to the front doors and shatter the glass.
Okay. So I don't think you'll need to roll for that. I think you can bust through the door fairly easily. All right, so you're out in the parking lot. You busted through the glass.
She turns to Lyra and is like, "We're gonna play dumb if Sandy's here and act like we haven't figured that out, and we were just very scared, okay?"
Lyra nods in her wolf form.
Yeah, so she steps out and like I didn't mention this, but like, the off thing about her nerdy outfit is that she does have like steel-toed boots for situations like these. So she's like stepping over the glass with her boots crunching them and heads out into the parking lot, and she's sort of like is eyeing the car. Can she see anyone like in it?
No, there's no one in it. And so let's see. You and Lyra are outside. Atlas, where are you at?
Still inside, and I think, just in case, Atlas is going to start checking all the rooms of the Blockbuster.
Oh, you as you start to step out of the office, you see Sandi, and she has an axe to grind with you. And she says, "What did you do?"
Beat your demon's ass. He like leans in with each word. He's still like partially Mothmaned.
All right, so she pulls the axe back like she's coming to swing at you.
Can I big whammy?
Sure.
Yeah. So like Atlas flicks a card in her face, the tower, of course, because he who, and then let's do that roll, baby. Oh, double sixes and no 1.
Very good. All right.
Big whammy.
I imagine since it's more than a 12, I get to do like full Mothman transformation for this attack as a treat.
Sure.
Yeah.
So tell me how you destroy Sandi.
Like, I plunge my claw through her stomach. I look at her with my red eyes and I say, "Don't you know, Mothman foretells tragedies." And then I bite her face right off.
Nice.
All right. And then we cut to the contract still sitting on the desk that you had been reading, and it just catches flames and burns itself out. And Lyra and Mina hear Atlas saying that, and you turn around and you see what just happened. What do you guys do?
I think just Mina like hoops and hollers.
Lyra's like, we gotta clean up the body. I call dibs.
Just shove it in the skeleton wall. I'm gonna assume Mina probably spotted the skeleton wall when she was in the storage room. Or actually, you know what? We can put it in the car, put the car off a cliff, set it on fire. It'll work out.
Yeah. Atlas like pulls their hand out of the body and like wipes off their face and like runs a hand over their antenna like one would run their hand through their hair and is like, it never gets better tasting blood. Why is it gotta be so salty?
You don't have to bite them. You can just claw them.
Yeah, but it's more dramatic. And don't you think it's cool having villains meet their end by their last sight being my teeth?
I guess so, but I mean, it's kind of messy.
All the while they're doing this, Lyra is like biting at the body and just like
Bull, did you not have lunch?
I skipped just for the occasion.
Mina just rolls her eyes, her face kind of like scrunched up in disgust, and she's like, come on, there's like a Carl Jr.'s down the road. Let's just put that dead body in the car. You know, let's put that dead body in that car's trunk. She probably has her like keys on her. We'll take her car, we'll drop that off, and then let's go get Carl's Jr.
Lyra spits out a chunk of Sandi's hand is like, deal.
All right, and then as you guys are talking, you notice that somebody just appeared, and it's a guy in like a kind of rough-looking brown trench coat. As he appears, it's kind of bright when he appears, but then he appears in front of you and he says, in this real raspy voice, the three of you probably should leave. I'll take care of the rest of this.
Atlas like looks to the others, shrugs, and then like picks up Mina with like their forearms and starts walking out.
Mina's so like, wait, what's that guy?
Atlas
she doesn't really like
listen.
stop him from taking her out. She's just like looking with bewilderment at the random man.
He
Atlas says, go ahead.
he reaches down to the body, and then the body and him disappear.
Mina's eyes go as wide as saucers.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bright light when he disappears, and you have solved the mystery.
Yippee!
It's like, I imagine that since the body was just taken care of, they instead pile into the van, and Mina is at the wheel, and she's just like staring like wide-eyed through the front window, and then like turns to the others and it's like, I don't think we're getting paid.
And Atlas has just like this silly look as they start transforming back, and they said, I was in the office room with that safe for a long time, girly.
Lyra's like, I got paid. I gotta bite somebody.
Isn't that payment enough? And I mean, hey, I gotta have a fight with a demon. That was something. It is though a shame about this last Blockbuster. I guess it's gonna go the way of the dinosaurs finally. Unless that weird like Dave guy decides to manage it for a while.
Might be able to salvage it. Who knows? All right. So, how'd everybody like it?
I loved it.
That was so fun.
I would like
I
to
want to
revisit
use
these
these guys
characters.
again. Yeah, they should be repeat characters. They're so fun.
Yeah.
They're just unhinged enough.
I wasn't really sure who was the monsters in this. It almost sounded like you guys were.
Maybe a little bit too okay with murder.
You have 2 monster girlfriends. What did you expect, Mina? Also, we are not the monsters. We were stopping that lady and her demon from murdering even more people. We were in the right here.
And also eating her.
Like, I mean, we don't know how many years. Like, 3 people a year for how many years? That's at least at least 3. Probably at least 6, maybe 12. That's a lot of dead people.
6 years, so yeah, it'd have been 18.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Yeah,
dead people.
so we were justified. Okay, they attacked first.
Technically 1 person for 18, it's justified.
All right. So
I love the dynamic between these 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty light systems, so it's not a lot of rolling, but yeah, I feel like it's more of a role playing than a ROLL playing.
Yeah, it's fun.
I think it's fun. Yeah, I like this system. And I do kind of like how in D&D, you can use the dice roll if you to make some improv decisions for you. But this is also fun since we can just say what we feel like.
Yeah.
It's a lot less based on chance and more like it feels more like the episodic show. Than just the D&D session. So yeah, it's but yeah, I mean, I think you guys did great, and I think I hit on all the points that I had listed out on my paper. I think we covered everything. All the spooky things that I had.
And now we have a perfect plan if we ever want to do a game and Shish isn't available.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
We can just do the Polycule game.
Yep. Triple M investigations.
Yeah.
All right. So that is it, everybody. Thank you for playing. And feel free to do any art or anything you want to related to it.
And MJ can stop the recording now.
Oh yeah.
Wee.